Hello, I'm Spade, and I'm here with John JDA Ambrose of L2GG.net, which you can see conveniently above his name. Welcome, John. How you doing?
How's it going, Spade?
Pretty good, man. I'm excited to be here in the library interviewing you. I brought a little watermelon. I'll cut it open. You can have a half there. And I figure watermelon is a good food to talk about Counter-Strike over. So recently, you've started making some content on YouTube for people who play Counter-Strike. You want to tell us a little bit about L2GG.net and what it's about?
Yeah, so L2GG.net is aiming to be a premier resource for semi-competitive players. It's the player who is not playing competitive sometimes. It's the player who is playing competitive all the time, but they're at the either lower or middle rings of Counter-Strike leagues and that type of play.
So, like playing CEVO IM or
CEVO
CEVO.
IM, CEVO Open. I know next season there's going to be a Premier League, so that would then include the main division as that gets filled out. The same goes for ESEA and maybe in the future some other leagues.
Sure, if Altpug starts something, etc.
That would be very exciting.
Would be very exciting. So specifically the content you're making, how is it different than, for example, the videos that Adren has put out before?
Well, Dren is certainly a more skilled player than me, outclasses me in experience. But the place that I'm coming from is I'm trying to do videos that in the future, and certainly now, I've tried to develop this idea, is doing videos that not only show you what, but the whys and the hows. I know we just released our second video was a float smoke technique. It was this interesting glitch that's garnered over 1,000 views already. And it was something that had been done on accident before, but it wasn't something that people were starting to think about. Well, how do I use this? How do I use this in a competitive match to have more options? I'm going to try and aim towards showing things that you can start thinking about how to use it, how to really use it, when you go to practice with your team or you're playing competitive pugs, to build your game sense, build your game knowledge, develop game plans better, and just try and make Counter-Strike better for those that have been doing it for a long time.
That's great, and that's cool, and it sounds like it's a good place to go, like especially for people that are forming teams, really starting to get into team play. It sounds like maybe this is going to be a great place to start if you're planning to do strat calling, for example, and you need to be the person who's spending a lot of time doing the research, preparing yourself to do the tactical thinking in game.
Certainly, yeah.
Right.
One of the videos we're going to be doing soon is on evaluating your own replays. Like everybody always says, oh, you got to watch pro replays, you got to look at your own play, but they never tell you what to look for. And building a vocabulary that doesn't exist is really difficult. But I think ultimately I'm hoping that it's something that pays off for myself, my own team, all of my friends, and anybody who really decides to check out what we're doing and really get into the conversation.
Sure. And I've noticed, I've done a lot of watching my own play afterwards, just by virtue of doing the videos that I've been doing to kind of track my progress. And I think that it's definitely a learned skill to be able to watch a replay and be looking for things in the right way. I think I get a lot more value now about when I go over a demo than I did when I was first starting out and I was going over a demo, just because I have a little bit of a better sense of, I guess my game sense has developed enough that it's easier for me to identify when I've made a wrong decision, when I've made a right decision, and why. And it's especially fun now that Valve pre-records all the Go TV demos to go from perspective to perspective and look at a particular scenario and just say, okay, I can go watch the POV of my opponent and not just guess what he was doing, but actually see what he was doing and see how in the future, if I find myself in a similar situation, I maybe have better information about what common things my opponent is going to try.
Right. And there's a gap there's a gap between that having a resource for somebody to go look at when they want to improve their own play in a team setting is something that just isn't out there. Like Spade, there's not a resource for in the middle players. You know, your double AKs, kind of matchmaking rank, 9 RWS or 9 efficacy, players who just joined an open team. They're confident in their ability to some degree. They may need help with team play. We're going to do videos on that. We're going to do videos on all kinds of things that just I can't even. I don't want to blow my load essentially by telling you everything that's coming out.
It's exciting. It's exactly for me. I mean, I'm in that bucket.
Yeah, there's a lot of people finding themselves in that bucket. Like, I was DMG matchmaking rank for a long time. I just recently, about a week and a half ago, got to the Eagle level, and the gap between those two levels, because of the problems in the matchmaking ranking system, will blow your mind. You'll be like, when did I become terrible? And when did my teammates become so good? Because you'll learn something new every 10 seconds if you go back and watch that demo.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. And that's the level I want everybody to be at.
Okay, so, and in the interest of not making this a forever interview, do you want to go ahead and maybe give us an example, a quick tip, a teaser, something that, maybe even on Inferno that somebody who was starting a team might be interested in, a strategy, a tactical tip, something that would be a good takeaway?
Yeah, I have something that I can just break into really the thought process about our videos. It's kind of part, I'll show you something real quick that's part smoke grenade tip, part game sense tip, and part teamwork building. This is really what our channel aims for, right? So,
awesome.
Say we have a video that's going to show a smoke grenade for a player who's on CT side. He plays arches. Now, this smoke grenade is used in a lot of pro play. I picked it up off of a NIP game, and I've adapted it into my own team's play, and I'm sure that I'm going to have to change when I do this after this video comes out, because we are in playoffs. What you do is, it doesn't really matter what view model you have. For me, I have a dot crosshair, but you want to line your crosshair up against this, the edge of the wall and the door.
Yep.
Have a smoke grenade. Turn up towards middle, or terrace stairs, as I like to think about it, and put your crosshair in between the second rung from that side. Go ahead and throw that, and let's no clip over to banana. Okay, so that's a smoke grenade tip. Sure, you've seen those plenty of times. The difference here is in one of my videos, I would explain how this goes for a team play. Now, there's 2 ways to do that, but that's just one way. What it does is it saves 2 smokes for the guys at banana. And imagining the smoke is still down there, you have one of the people push up to the car here, okay? And one of the guys stay back in the site. What this does is, if you're going up against a team who has a really great B take, it stops them in their tracks. That's a smoke grenade in combination with building your game sense of knowing that's going to bring my teammates at an aggressive position where they would have normally gone to a defensive position. I would talk about multiple replays where we would show, okay, so if you're putting a player up aggressive, who's that going to be? Is that going to be your opper? An op would be great. He's got that pixel peak down there, as you can see. And of course, with CSGO, coming out of a smoke is a lot different than other versions. So coming out of a smoke is so disadvantageous. If you can stop the enemy team there early on in the round, because it's so easy to get that smoke grenade over from arches, the guy who's up car here, if they don't push him, he can re-smoke it again. What's that? That's almost 35 seconds of round time that you've delayed the terrace. And that's the type of content we're going for. We're going for the, not just, here's a smoke grenade. We're going for the, let's talk about how that affects your teammates. Let's talk about how that affects the enemy team. And let's just give all the players out there better games, more GG. That's what we talk about. That is L2GG in a nutshell.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us, John. Please do, if you're considering taking your Counter-Strike to the next level, go check out l2gg.net. They've got a lot of cool content coming. John was telling me before the show there's some blow your mind analysis in the pipeline. I'm very excited for it, and I hope you guys all do go check it out, because it's going to be a great resource for those of us playing CS:GO. Spade out.